Warm welcome to the Love Factory here in Manchester. We have a bumper night of action coming your way on Saturday night, live from the AO Arena just down the road. Johnny Nelson is alongside me. Johnny, what a stacked card, what a stacked night. We've got the Hatton Barrera fight as well happening afterwards. We'll get stuck into that later on. That's the press conference taking place this afternoon. But before that, we have this one. Natasha Jonas takes on Dicaire. This is a big fight for Tasha. She only unified, a couple of months ago, and now she's looking to add another belt to her collection.
First of all, I'm trying to stop myself from breaking into song when you said the Love Factor. I'm thinking...
That's why I carried on talking, to stop you, because I knew you could.
But this bill itself, I think this is a tough fight. On paper, anyway, it's a tough fight. And I've seen Dicaire, and I look at it and I think, you know what? This might be tougher than what you realise. Former IBF champion twice, only lost to Clarissa Shields. Second time out of Canada, she's fought. That's the thing going against her. But as a fighter, she's naturally bigger than Natasha at the weight. There's a lot more to go for.
Well, Tasha had to jump up 3 weight classes, didn't she, to win the world title at the third time of asking, whereas Dicaire has always been around this weight. You'll see a size difference, I think.
Reports in the hotel, people walking around saying she's massive. You look at her thinking, this girl, even though on paper it doesn't look like she can bang, she wants to fight, she wants to tear up. So this is one of those fights that could actually be set alight from the off because of the style of fights.
Dicaire's also a southpaw, Tasha's a southpaw. It's the first southpaw as a pro that Natasha will face. How do you think she'll fare? How do you think she'll handle it?
Usually you find southpaws, having to fight southpaws, find it very awkward because there's not many southpaws around. So again, it's a big adjustment. So it depends on which one's more comfortable with that unorthodox style, sparring with another southpaw or being able to switch. I gather Dicaire can switch as well. So how do you prepare for somebody like that? And will she bring that into the fight itself? I do think it's a tough fight.
But what Natasha does have is momentum now, doesn't she? And confidence from winning the world title, from unifying. And that's often invaluable in fights like this.
Makes a fight, it makes all the difference. And everything is there's that carrot that's there, the possibility that Clarissa Shields will come over here to the UK again to fight because she knows the fan base that she's developed here, the waves that she created here, she knows that fight could happen. So Clarissa's on about dropping down to come and fight Natasha.
Well, another fight I'm very much looking forward to, as I'm sure are you and everyone else, is Dalton Smith versus Casey Benjamin. It is the first defence of his British title, and there's something about a British title. We always talk about this, but they often produce absolute crackers, don't they?
Dalton Smith, Sheffield boy, so I've always got to have his back no matter what. And the thing is, he's doing it the traditional way. This kid is a respectable, good fighter. And the way he's coming along, the way he's breezing through domestic level, you know he's beyond the British title standard, but he wants to pick up the Alonzo belt, keep the Alonzo belt, probably go for the Commonwealth, then go for the European. On the world circuit, they know who he is. They know what this young man's capable of doing. Amateur and professionally, they are now aware of it.
How much of a star in the making is he?
Potentially, as long as he keeps his feet on the ground, his dad keeps him in check, this young man can go forever and a day. He's a proper talented young fighter.
Fraser Clarke also in action at heavyweight on Saturday night. He's had a bit of a frustrating start, hasn't he, to his professional career. His first fight wasn't the opponent that he wanted. He got the win anyway. He picked up that hand injury, didn't he? Went into the second fight in Bournemouth, Bracamonte. That was a good win for him. But his last fight, matchmaking, he had issues with that, understandably. He'll be looking surely to make a statement on Saturday, but it's a tough test in his way on paper.
He's got a tough test. His opponent is classed as probably one of the toughest journeymen out there, and he's upset the apple cart for a few potential prospects. This is what Fraser needs. Fraser spars, he's boxed, he's with the most of the world's elite. Now he needs to do it on stage. Now he needs to do it where he benefits from it for his career. So it's important that Fraser gets the job done because he needs to be fast-tracked and do it in style.
Especially with heavyweights, and particularly when they're in the earlier stages, I guess, in their professional career. There's that sort of want, isn't there, to get the knockout, to impress. But what also is imperative and valuable for learning experience is getting rounds under your belt. Do you think Fraser will be getting those on Saturday?
I get that, but hopefully he's getting the rounds in the gym. Hopefully that's what's important, because right now he needs to make an impression and get people talking about him. To get him talking about him, he's got to be knocking people out. He's got to show people that can box as well as bash. So for me, I wouldn't go to impress Osler. Get the job done, because he needs to leapfrog and get himself up front.
If you could pick one fight on Saturday, what's your standout fight to watch?
Top of the bill, Jonas and Dicaire. That fight, to me, again, looking at it on paper, it's a great fight. You know, both fighters, the hunger they've got, great fight. So again, top of the bill, top 6. Oh, of course, Dalton Smith, Sheffield boy.
Absolutely. The atmosphere in Manchester is always sort of second to none, isn't it? I know you love it being out here.
Manchester is better than London.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to London for a while now, so we're good.
Okay, well, it's going to be good. All right, let's hand you over to Big Mo for the introductions for the press conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Love Factory, today's site for the official press conference for Boxer Fight Night on Sky Sports, live this Saturday in Manchester from the AO Arena. We would like to thank our official partners, Bet365, Everlast, Village Hotels, Wow Hydrate, and FCI Markets. Our undercard on Saturday will begin at 5:30 with our main card beginning at 7 o'clock. We have tons of rising talent, established stars, and champions competing at the AO Arena. Our co-main event, Birmingham versus Sheffield, Casey Benjamin versus the undefeated champion Dalton Smith for the British Super Lightweight Championship. Our main event, Saturday, the AO Arena in Manchester. 3 belts will be on the line. First, from Quebec, Canada, the IBF Super Welterweight Champion, Mediev Dicaire, takes on the WBC and the WBO Super Welterweight Champion, Natasha Jonas. And now I will turn it over to the host of our press conference, Savage Dan, who is joined by the CEO of Boxer, Ben Shalom. Dan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Big Mo. Welcome to Manchester. Welcome to what will be a huge fight week and a historic night at the AO Arena on Saturday evening. Natasha Jonas and Marie-Eve Dicaire top the bill, locking horns in a super welterweight world title unification bout, which also has the coveted Ring Magazine belt on the line. Dalton Smith makes his long-awaited Sky debut as he defends his super lightweight title against the dangerous Casey Benjamin. Manchester's very own Brad Ray challenges champion Tyler Denny for the English middleweight title. And then there's the heavyweights. Big Fraser goes head-to-head with the dangerous Kamil Sokolowski, and you will not want to miss that one. Vidal Riley, a man who needs no introduction, goes head-to-head in a local derby against fellow Londoner Ross McGuigan. And we also have the Boxer Series champion Dylan Chima, who's always in exciting fights, alongside local talent Clark Smith and Jack Kilgannon. It is going to be a brilliant night of boxing at the AO Arena. An iconic night in an iconic city. I feel like it's your favourite fight city at the moment. Ben, you are Boxer's promoter. Why are you always in Manchester? And why is this such an iconic city for boxing?
Look, it's where it all started for us. 2018, Ultimate Boxer 1. Casey Benjamin was on that bill. And we're back in Manchester. Over 7,000 people already have bought tickets for Saturday night. This is an amazing card. One of our best, one that I'm really looking forward to, one that has competitive fights throughout the card from top to bottom. Unbelievable main event. Natasha Jonas, obviously her rise over the past 12 months has been incredible, and for her to headline now in Manchester, it's a special moment for her third world title. The British title, as you mentioned, what a fight that is. Dalton Smith returns to Sky. It's his debut for Boxer as well, and hopefully many more to come. He's fighting Casey Benjamin, who has been pushing for this fight ever since we started. I think a lot of shine is on Dalton Smith, but this is the fight that Casey Benjamin wanted as soon as it was ordered, he made sure Mick Hennessy and his team that we put in a strong purse bid and won that fight. So right down the card from Vidal, Brad Ray and Fraser Clarke, all in career-defining fights, career breakthrough fights for them. It's a fantastic card and I can't wait for Saturday night.
Well, let's get to the fighters. I will start with the cruiserweights. Ross, I will come to you first. You are unbeaten. You're an unknown quantity in many ways, but it is a tall order. Do you have what it takes to beat Vidal Riley?
I've definitely got what it takes, without a shadow of a doubt. I wouldn't have took this opportunity if I didn't feel like that was the situation. I'm under no illusion that Vidal is a good boxer, but I know what I bring to the table, what I can do in the ring, who I train with, how I prepare, and rest assured, when we get in that ring on Saturday, he will know who I am as well.
You've had 4 weeks notice for this fight, but you were coming off another fight 3 weeks before that, so you were already ready and rolling into your next camp. Does that give you an advantage, knowing that you're already fight fit? Are you just there waiting for the phone to ring?
I wouldn't say an advantage as such, but I am always in the gym, and obviously coming off a previous fight a few weeks before, it does help. Vidal would have probably had more time than me knowing his actual date from the beginning, so I wouldn't say there's an advantage, but it definitely helps to kickstart the camp that I needed with the little time that I had.
There's been no real animosity between you, but you've said that you want to press the action, you want to take Vidal to a place he's never been before. How do you do that?
Yeah, Vidal's he's a humble guy. He hasn't said anything to me. I treat others how I want to be treated, and I dish out what I get. So yeah, there's no need for animosity. But this is boxing. We're both going to get in the ring and want to inflict punishment on each other. And yeah, I feel like what I bring to the table, he hasn't experienced yet, and he hasn't experienced it for a long time. And yeah, I'm 100% coming with everything. This is a big opportunity for me, boxing on Sky and Boxer, and I'm definitely looking to take it with both hands.
Vidal, your first, it's an unbeaten opponent. Is this your toughest test today?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, he's an undefeated opponent, so his mentality is, I've not lost before. That makes you do things, it makes you try harder. I understand that, but skill-wise, he's not my best opponent to date. But it's for me to show on Saturday night. We
watched your live workout. Clear to see you're sharp, got power in both hands. You got an incredible stoppage last time at the AO Arena. Looking for something similar on Saturday night?
Yeah, definitely. I think since I've started with boxing, my professional career has really begun. And in February, I got the guy down first round. June, got the guy down first round. And these weren't clean hits. So I'm thinking I need to get a clean one Saturday.
You've been called out by the likes of Jake Paul and many others. Is it difficult to keep the blinkers on and to block out all the white noise and focus on the task at hand? You seem very focused on your journey, but does it take much to be able to do that and to block out all the big fights that are there for you?
Doesn't take much at all. When we got the message and Ross's name was there, Ross has been the focus. It's the world that focuses on the other things.
This fight will be streamed on your YouTube. I think that's the first time I've seen that done. 1.2 million subscribers.
Listen, everyone's in for a treat, I guess. I don't think it's been done before. If it has been done, then it's being done again better this time. But make sure, tune into the YouTube channel. You can watch it live. I know Ross will do his best. I'll do mine. And we'll see a good fight.
Ben, it's a cracking fight. Is it a step up for Vidal?
I think it is. I mean, what a fight to start the night. Vidal Riley, if every fighter that we signed was willing to take on anything that was put in front of them, any test, to take on, when you're fighting an unbeaten fighter, it's very, very hard to know what they're going to come with, to know what level they're really going to perform at. And there was no hesitation when Ross's name was mentioned, and I'm sure that he's going to bring it on Saturday night. I know how I spoke to Steve Goodwin. They think he's a very, very good fighter, and he's had some notable wins in the amateur scene as well. He's turned pro late, and he's coming to cause an upset. But Vidal Riley, for me, is going right to the top of this division, and this is a step on a big stage that he wants to take early on in his career, and credit to him.
It will definitely be an exciting one. Next, let's go to the middleweights. Brad Ray takes on Tyler Denny for his English title. Tyler, I will come to you first. You've said that you don't just want to nick rounds, that you want to win them convincingly against Brad. How do you go about doing that?
Just do myself, man. I think I'm going to have to, being away in Manchester against a guy from Manchester. I'm expecting the crowd and stuff, and I think if I perform the way I know I can, I'll come out with a victory. So I'll just be myself and get the win, keep hold of the belt, and that's it, man.
You're making a bit of a habit of going on the road and fighting champions. You fought Wilson Bent in Coventry, and now you're fighting Brad Ray in Manchester. Is that part of your personality? You want to go into the Lions Den and do it?
I don't think I have much choice, to be honest. But I just want to fight. So you throw me a fight, I'll take the fight. It's simple as that. Like you said, my last two was against River. I fought Derek Azazi before that. That was like a neutral at Sheffield. I fought Udofia in London, and I'm at Manchester now. So, I'm as game as they come, man. And I don't want to be known just for being game. I want to fulfil my ability, and I think that's above English level. But saying that, I think Brad's above English level as well, and it's a great fight, man. I've got a lot of respect for him, but I'm here to do the business. Brad is the home fighter, but you are the champion. Do you feel like you are not being treated or talked about as though you are the champion? I'm not really asked, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? I think so, but because Brad signed up with Sky, and boxing, it's a boxing event, they're going to back their guy, which, you got to respect them for doing that. But at the end of the day, I'm the champion, and I'm here to show why I'm the champion and why I'll still be the champion come Saturday night. Brad, you are the local lad. You've had a brilliant win in February at the AO as well. Do you relish fighting in front of a home crowd?
Yeah, 100%. Means the world to me to fight at Manchester Arena. The arena that I've been going to since I was a little kid. Watching some of the fighters I used to look up to. Now it's me in there, and it's consistent. It's been my third time fighting at the arena, and hopefully I can make a habit of it.
Saturday night you have the opportunity to win the first major title of your career up against a rough and rugged opponent. What do you have to do to get the win against him? It's a real clash of styles.
Yeah, I think it's a great clash of styles. Tyler's a very, very good fighter, and as he's just said there, I think he's above English level. I think this is a great fight for the English title, but I've put the work in the gym, and whatever he brings, I'm confident that we're going to get the win. And that title's, it's not just coming on holiday to Manchester, it'll be staying here.
You've been in the gym, leaving no stone unturned. You've also been working with Ricky Hatton. He's looking good. How has that motivated you? How has that helped you to kick on in this camp?
Yeah, it's been class, sharing a camp with Rick. Obviously, great idea from the AO Arena to put both shows on the same night. It's been good. We've gone through the camp together. We've been getting in together with kind of just one-to-one sessions, me, him and my coach Blaine. So yeah, it's been good, and he's looking well. He's looking well. Gives me that extra little push. I give him that extra push, and hopefully it's going to be two good performances on Saturday.
Finally, can I push you for a prediction on your fight on Saturday night?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how I win, but that title's staying in Manchester, like I said. Just here to get the win and get my hand raised.
Ben, English title fights, they're always good.
They're always good.
Yeah.
They're always good. I think with Brad, we're always looking for that next Manchester star. There's nothing that would mean more to me than to be able to bring it through with Jack Cattrall and Brad Ray and even Clark Smith. We look at Ricky on the top of the bill. I know Anthony Croller's going to be there. I remember going to his nights, and Brad will remember as well. And that's what it's about in this city. And Brad Ray is a local hero now. I think a lot of people are looking at him, 24 years old, going through the ranks at the moment. Started with us on October the 16th last year in a war against Jez Smith, and has just continued to build and build and build. And he wants the big fights, and he wanted that English title. And even though it's Tyler Denny, who we've seen in an absolute war with River Wilson-Bent last time and came through really well. I think he's a fan-friendly fighter. He's a great fighter to watch. It's got a great fight written all over it. But this is Brad's time, I believe, and this is his time at the Manchester Arena, and this is where we see him take his career to the next level.
Next is heavyweight business. Fraser, I will come to you next. I think it's fair to say you've been frustrated with a couple of your opponents. There can be absolutely no complaints about Kamil Sokolowski.
Not at all, but first of all, you're doing a great job, Dan. I think Adam Smith needs to be careful because his job might have gone. But yeah, this is the fight that, you know, we sort of spoke about this fight from the beginning of my career. And now we've got it here. An opponent which I respect, and I've paid him that respect by, you know, training properly, efficiently, and I'm prepared for, you know, a good version of Kamil Sokolowski.
Is that a big part of this as well? Kamil is dangerous. Everybody knows that. He's had 6 weeks' notice for this fight, which is about 5 weeks more than he usually has for fights. Is this a real step up for you?
It's a step up, yeah, 100%. If I'm as good as I think I am, and I'm as good as you guys have, you know, bought into me, then I should deal with this no problem. But I always say with these guys, you know, if I show up half-hearted, it can upset you, it can make you look silly. But this is about me showing that I'm a professional. You know, I'm not here to just get myself through this fight. I'm here to do a job, and you'll see that.
In Bournemouth, Bracamonte tried to put it on you a little bit. He wanted to force the issue, and we all know how that ended. Do you feel like the more a fighter tries to put it on you, the better the performance from Fraser Clarke?
The better the opponent, the better Fraser Clarke. It's really that simple. You know, Bracamonte tried to put it on me, and I landed the left hook. I know that Kamil is very tough, very strong, and isn't going to go away easy, but I feel like with my skill set, my power, and my intentions, then, you know, I'll do the correct job, and winning's everything. Winning's important. But I always say with prospects, you know, when I'm looking at prospects, it's how you deal with these people. So, yeah, we'll see on Saturday night. I'm the real deal, let me tell you that.
Ben, heavyweight fights are always fun, but this has the makings of an absolute barnstormer.
Yeah, it's the heavyweight division. I've never seen so much scrutiny and attention on a prospect as I've seen with Fraser. It's incredible. People want to see him in the big fights. He's a massive personality now in the sport. Obviously been doing a lot of punditry work on Sky as well, but he wants to do his talking in the ring, and this is the fight that he wants. He wants to move quickly. He wants the big fights, and obviously 4 fights in to be fighting Kamil Sokolowski in a tough fight with 8 weeks' notice. We wanted to make sure Kamil had all the time in the world to prepare for this. This is a good moment for Fraser. This is him under the bright lights in a proper fight, showing what he can do, and I can't wait for it.
A lot of people saying that could be fight of the night, and if it's not that, it could definitely be this one. Chief support is the super lightweights, and it's British title business. Casey Benjamin takes on Dalton Smith. Casey, I'll come to you. Saturday night is a huge opportunity against a very dangerous Dalton Smith. What do you make of the fight?
You know, I think it's a good fight. Obviously, Dalton's a good fighter. He's got good ring IQ, but I think that I have what it takes to beat him.
You've actually been looking at this fight for quite some time. I remember speaking to one of your stablemates earlier this year, and you targeted Dalton Smith, which is something not many people do. What do you see in his game that you can exploit?
I think that was just due to it was the biggest fight out there for me, and I always want to be in big fights. I feel like me beating Dalton, that would just, you know, set me up for big things.
You've campaigned at 147, you're now down at super lightweight. Do you feel like your power is better down there? You've said that you think you'll be the first person to really test Dalton's chin.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I've carried my power down to this way, and I feel stronger in the sense of my opponents are the same size as me now, rather than fighting bigger people at 147. But I think I'll definitely test Dalton.
You're both smart, thinking fighters. Are you expecting more of a chess match than perhaps the more pressure fighting than? Are you expecting more of a chess match?
I ain't really going in expecting anything. I've watched Dalton fight, and I feel like the way he fights, I feel like I can beat him. So yeah, I feel like I'm definitely going to bring something good.
You've said Dalton will be your toughest test. Do you feel like you'll be his toughest test?
Oh yeah, 100%. He'll be my toughest test, and I'll be his toughest test. So it just makes for a great fight.
Dalton, do you agree? Is Casey your best opponent to date?
We'll find out Saturday, won't we? But no, respect's there. We're in the gentleman's sport, and Casey's got himself into this mandatory position. Obviously, I won the belt back in August, and this is a golden ticket fight for Casey, and he's coming 100% to beat me. Because I always said, the eyes, what's on me now, that red dot on the middle of my forehead gets bigger and bigger, and these people who are challenging me now, that can propel their careers if they beat me. So they're coming with intentions to derail the Dalton Smith train.
Boxing is all about timing. Do you think this is too big of a jump for Casey too soon?
It shouldn't be. He's had many more fights for me, and Casey should be in these big fights, and I just think that's what's going to be the difference on Saturday. I'm 13 fights in, and boxed at a much higher level, and come through with flying colours. But taking nothing away from Casey, he's a great fighter. He can mix it up. He can go on the front foot, on the back foot. So yeah, we're in for a very good fight Saturday.
You've got a 83% KO ratio. Casey's talked about being able to test your chin, but what do you think happens when you land a big one on him?
We're in professional boxing, and whoever gets it with an 8-ounce glove, it's going to hurt, isn't it? But I don't seem to get it nowhere near as much as Casey. So the odds are, Casey gets it more than me. But at the end of the day, it's a fight, and if anyone gets it with 8-ounce gloves, it's going to hurt. But we'll see on Saturday.
This will be your first defence of the British title. Was the plan always to win it and then win it outright?
Yeah, it was funny because obviously I won it back in August when I beat Sam O'Mason, and I think you get so many days to defend it against the mandatory, which we knew Casey was there. And then there was rumours going around and think, Dalton's going to vacate and move on. It's like, no, we knew if we won the belt, we was vacating against Casey. So nothing got sprung up on us. We were straight back in the gym because we knew the date was going to come up, and we knew we was facing Casey next.
Looking at the division as a whole, domestically and at world level, there are some huge fights out there. We've seen your name regularly put next to the likes of Ryan Garcia and all the other world champions. Are they the kind of fights that you're looking at and that are on the horizon for you?
Of course, those are the fights what are paying the bills back home. So, they're the big fights. But you can't take the eye off the ball. I've got, I'm in a real fight on Saturday. I can't take my eye off the ball, and I've got to do it in style.
Ben, this is a real fight, a British title dust-up. I think a lot of people were surprised when you won the purse bid for this fight.
Yeah, I know. Fair play to Dalton, because in all seriousness, he's not our fighter, but he wanted to win the belt outright, and he wanted to take that opportunity, and I think that's what we need in British boxing, even at that British level, is the guys coming together and putting it on the line. And as I said before, this was the fight that Casey always wanted, so it was an easy decision for him. Don't overlook Casey Benjamin. He really is an unbeaten fighter. He obviously lost in a tournament in a 3-round, 3-minute format, which anything can happen in, but he's developed his career really nicely now with Soggy and John Pegg, and this is their time, they believe. But Dalton's biggest test on Saturday night is going to be great to see how he performs. I think that division in the UK is really, really strong. Even obviously in the world, but in the UK with Jack Cattrall and Josh Taylor hopefully being announced very soon. Adam Azim, who we signed this week, almost reminds me of when Amir Khan and Kell Brook were starting out, and there's going to be that comparison throughout their careers, I think, if they keep coming through the levels. So it's a great fight, but I really think people can't undermine Casey Benjamin and what he's going to bring to the table on Saturday night.
Couldn't agree more. Lastly, we have top of the bill. Natasha Jonas aims to become a world champion for the 3rd time in 2022. What a year. But standing in her path is Marie-Eve Dicaire. Marie, pleasure to have you here. You've said that absolutely nothing will stop you getting the win on Saturday night.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thank you, Boxer, and thank you, Giro Pivot Michel, for having this event being held on, because back then, when I was a kid, like in the 90s, I was telling everybody, one day I'm going to be a professional athlete. I'm going to make a living out of my sport. And everybody laughed at it. And now, here we are, the main event at the AO Arena. So great job, because little girl dreamed of that, and now it came true. So it was my dream when I was a kid, and there's nothing that's going to stop me from getting the win Saturday night.
You are naturally bigger than Tasha. Do you feel like that is going to be a big telling sign in the fight? Do you feel like you're going to have to use your size in order to beat her?
Are you saying I'm fat?
Definitely not. I know better than that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a natural 154 pounds. So clearly, we know we got the weight and the height advantage. We know Natasha is a smart fighter. We know she's made some adjustment. It's not a first fight at 154, so clearly we don't take it for granted. We've been doing our homework. We've been working out in the gym, working out with Southpaw, which is a really good thing, because that's going to be both different for both fighters. But clearly, we know I'm bigger, I'm stronger, and we know how we're going to take advantage of this.
You only have one blemish on your record, and it is to Claressa Shields. Are you looking down the line and looking at a potential rematch?
You know what's funny? There's a fight Saturday. To me, that's all it matters. My focus is only on the fight Saturday. I've been dreaming, sleeping, eating, boxing Natasha Jonas. I think that's going to be something empty in my life when I'm going to stop watching footage of Natasha. So to me, that's all it matters. It's the fight Saturday. Sunday, it's going to be a different game. Sunday, we're going to have a new idea, a new clue of what's going to be next for me. But from now, the only focus is on Saturday.
Natasha's on a hot streak at the moment. She's in the form of her life. What are you going to be able to do that will negate what she does?
Well, that's funny, because she's in the shape of life, but I am too. We've been able to train with no injuries, with a lot of rest. I know Natasha has been having a busy year. For us, it's all the opposite. We've been able to rest. We've been able to heal some injuries. I've been able to miss boxing, because from the beginning of my career, I could do fights over and over, and then you just set on the automatic pilot. And now I had time to miss boxing and to realize how I need boxing in my life. No boxing, no life. And that's pretty dangerous.
Natasha, what a year you've had. 4 fights in 12 months, 3 potential world titles. Could you have written it better yourself?
No, I think it's been a year in boxing that everyone craves. You know, I've always said that an active Natasha is a dangerous one. And thanks to Ben and thanks to Sky, they've made that dream come true and made it possible.
Have you seen holes and flaws in Marie's game that you feel like you can exploit?
Yeah, obviously you watch things, but I don't take too much from, you know, the Claressa loss. Obviously the Southpaw versus Southpaw is a different thing, and, you know, styles make fights, but there's definitely things that we've worked on in the gym that we've seen. And, you know, Joe's probably one of the most meticulous people when it comes to sorting out game tactics and plans, and I just feel that whatever she brings, and it hopefully is the best version of her that we're prepared for.
The Ring Magazine belt is one of the most prestigious belts you can fight for. It's not always available. What does it mean to be able to fight for it?
Yeah, it's one of them belts, like the two I've got in front of me, that you know, it's up there, and it's a lovely belt to look at. It's a lovely belt to have, and it's, you know, it's the number 1 versus the number 2, and it settles the score. So to have that belt will you know, confirm not just to me but to everyone there that I'm the top of the division.
You are at the top of the division now, the super welterweight division. You are the money fight. You are the big ones. You call the shots. How many other options do you have after this fight if you get past Marie? And what ones are you looking at?
Very similar to herself. I don't look past Saturday. There's no point, because if Saturday doesn't go right, then the options close again and I'm back to square one. So I'm just focusing on what's in front of me and getting that out the way. And then I might even have a holiday after that. I might. But yeah, it's been a busy year. I'm thankful and grateful, and I just want to finish it off with a bang.
You touched on it briefly there, southpaw against southpaw. What differences and what changes are you going to have to make to be able to make up that height and reach advantage?
I've actually, for the first time in a very long time, really enjoyed this camp. You know, southpaw, we don't, in the amateurs, you never really train for the southpaw versus southpaw because there's very few of them. So you never get a whole camp specifically to learn on a style. And for this camp, it's been so enjoyable because I've learned and I've added things to my repertoire. And I think, yeah, I just want to go out there and show it on Saturday, and it's been really enjoyable for me.
Ben, does Natasha's year highlight what can happen when a fighter and a promoter pull in the same direction and completely commit?
Yeah, I think it takes everyone to commit. Every fighter needs to be active to perform at their best. There's no secret about that. And it's gone from strength to strength. First of all, thank you to Yvonne Michelle, thank you to Alexandra for being able to make this fight, this unification, this Ring Magazine belt. It's a big fight. It's the biggest that Tasha's had this year. It's the hardest fight. It's a first southpaw I think you've faced. It's going to be a tough test. Make no mistake about it. I think to be here fighting for a third world title, even if you'd said to me at the start of the year that could happen, I wouldn't have believed you. So we've already won, but we want to take it to the next level now. As you said, Tasha wants to be the money fight in the division. She wants the big names. She wants to fight at 147 again. She wants to fight Katie Taylor again, but she has to come through Saturday night, and it is a tough test. And Marie Dicaire, from listening to her as well, this is her moment, and she's extremely confident. What it is great to see is, you know, we're 2-3 weeks on from Shields Marshall that did the biggest viewing figures we've ever done on Sky, and no one's even questioning why we've got this fight main event. Of course, it's the main event. It's a unification with two top athletes at the top of the game, with everything on the line. And yeah, it's another big moment for Tasha to top off what will be, hopefully, a historic year.
I think there are some questions in the crowd for Marie.
Jean-François Chabot from Radio-Canada Montreal. Thank you for the opportunity. Question in French to Marie-Ève. Marie-Ève, jusqu'à quel point ce qui se passe en ce moment, tu l'avais déjà prévisualisé dans ta tête? Et à quel genre de situation penses-tu être confronté pour empêcher Natasha de compléter son tour du chapeau?
This is now the time we test your French lesson. Who remembered French from school? You had French lessons in school? Yeah, nobody did, eh? So we're going to speak behind your back. C'est quelque chose que j'ai toujours rêvé. Tu sais, on est petit, puis des fois on se voit jouer dans la Ligue nationale. Des fois on fait des trucs, puis on commente les événements comme si on était à la télé, puis on regarde nos idoles à l'écran, puis on se dit un jour ça va être nous. Puis toute ma vie, c'est ce que j'ai toujours vu, c'est ce que j'ai toujours voulu réaliser. Et moi, je suis une fille d'action, donc en ce moment, c'est ce qu'on a fait. On a juste mis toutes les pièces du puzzle en place pour concrétiser ce grand rêve-là. Puis depuis qu'on est arrivé, depuis le début de ce camp d'entraînement, je vis à fond chaque instant de ça. Puis la fin que j'ai imaginée est tellement joyeuse. J'espère que vous allez être là samedi pour la regarder.
Merci, thank you very much.
For everyone that got the A in GCSE French, I'm sure we all understood. That concludes our press conference. Marie, any final words to Tasha?
Well, no, actually, I'm really, really thrilled to face Natasha. I know she's been doing a lot for women boxing here in Great Britain. She's been one of the first boxers to go to the Olympics. She's been opening the doors. So to me, it's a privilege to face her here in her hometown. So I'm happy she's in the shape of her life. I'm in the shape of my life. So we're going to have the greatest matchup in history. And I think boxing fans are going to love it and are going to ask even more.
Tasha, anything from you?
No, just the same, just to replicate that. I appreciate travelling over here, coming in the best shape of her life, and yeah, may the best woman win on Saturday.
Ben, I'll end it with you. Tasha's able to go to the world time and time again. She doesn't look a day over 28, let alone 38. What are you expecting on Saturday night?
Look, it's a top fight to top the bill, but it's an incredible card. I think from top to bottom, thank you to the fighters. Everyone's putting it on the line on Saturday night. Everyone's taking a risk. Everyone's stepping in there, and they're fighting to develop their careers. I think it's going to be a huge night in Manchester. Of course, Ricky Hatton and the event will follow. It's a massive atmosphere in there. As I say, over 7,000 tickets sold already. A great card on a great night in a great city, and I can't wait.
Remaining tickets available at boxer.com, at Boxer across all social media platforms. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to have our and the Ricky Hatton press conference will be beginning roughly after 2 o'clock.
Johnny, are you going to translate for us what Marie said?
It's just, no. I'm not even going to try to hustle through that. No, but she's come across here very confident, knows what the job is in hand. She's been champion before. You look at the size difference of the two of them now.
How do you think that will come into play?
Oh, massively, because Claire likes to have a tear up as well. And even though you look at a loss to Shields, she actually pushed Shields hard to get that win. And I think this is going to be one of those fights. She's the naturally bigger fighter. She's the one that's been there before. She's still hungry. She's still young enough and fresh enough to still give Natasha kittens.
It's certainly going to be an interesting one. We talk about the confidence, though, of Natasha, and hopefully we'll be able to grab a word with her in a short while. But she seems to have had, like she said, the best camp of her career so far. Do you think that is because there is that confidence there? Is it you're a lot calmer, a lot more confident? Could that be the fact?
Without a doubt, success breeds success, and plus you're looking at the great fights we've seen with Clarissa and Savannah. Katie Taylor's out there, so it inspired so many other fighters coming through, and Natasha was that fighter that put female boxing as far as UK is concerned on the map in the Olympics. So she wants to make sure she's well and truly in that party. So at this stage, you've got no excuse to be coming in ill-prepared. And so that's why camp for this. Once you know you're on. I just think now, if you're fortunate to be a fighter that you've had weeks' notice, months' notice for a fight, you have no excuse to come in underprepared.
This is Dicaire's first fight outside of
second one
outside of Canada, but coming into Manchester Arena, we know what kind of a lion's den that can be. Do you think she'll take it in a stride? Do you think that will bother her at all?
I think any sportsman or woman coming to the UK, experiencing for the first time British fans, will be intimidated by them. I can remember Ricky Hatton going out to Vegas and obviously taking half of Manchester out there. The security just were terrified. They were singing, they were cheering, they were booing. They walked in packs. And here in Manchester, I think Dicaire's going to experience a lot of that, where she sees the support, especially for women's boxing here. It'll be something very, very new for her. I think when she boxed Clarissa, it was in Flint, in Clarissa's hometown. So she knew what it's like having to be the away fighter. But the UK is very, very different.
I think Dicaire's got her heels on as well, so that's not helping with the height, is it?
Yeah, but you know what? She's come to for business, dressed for the job. No nonsense at all. So good on her.
Very much all smiles right now, but it will be a different story on Saturday night between these two.
If you go on YouTube and watch Dicaire's fights and watch how she fights, don't let looks deceive you. because she likes to have a tear up. She likes to get stuck in. She likes to fight. So she'll be all smiles, but this is business, and she'll inspire so many others coming through.
What goes through your mind right now? What do you think's going through theirs?
Well, you know, this is the soft side of it. When we get to the weigh-in tomorrow, once the weigh-in's done, you know, the next time you see that opponent, you're going to be preparing to punch each other's face in. But all the hard work's been done now. This is the mental side of it. So it's your chance to put an impression. Dicaire's come dressed as though she's going for out to dinner. She's thinking, you know what, this is me. I've come here to do a job.
She looks very elegant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's done the right thing to say, this is my business. This is what I'm doing. So, right frame of mind.
Having a few exchanges. Natasha's back in the venue where, of course, she won her world title at the third time of asking. That was on the Brooke Khan undercard, wasn't it? Yeah. Unified in early September this year. There's a lot on the line for Tasha. A lot to gain, but a lot on the line.
Yes, and you know what? This is. She's had so much success here. She's used to that success, but she's also used to seeing the turn of the tide, where she was the sweetheart of the Olympics. Then when she lost it, the public's perception of her as a fighter slipped away. So they expected Terry Harper to walk through her. Then again, she redeemed herself, and now she redeemed herself twice, 3 times over, capturing a world title. And now again, she's in a tough fight. She knows it's a tough one. But the one thing about Natasha is she knows she's got a lot of fire under the bonnet.
I know you're looking forward to this one, Johnny. The British title always brings out something extra in the fighters, doesn't it?
Because this is the fight that gets you out of the traps. If you're a domestic fighter and you fight for the British title, you know if you pick that up, your dream goes on. You've got a chance to box outside the UK and to box for Commonwealth, box for European, be respected on a world scale. And some fighters, very few, have never boxed. Very few successful world champions from the UK haven't boxed for British title. And you speak to them afterwards, they wish they did, because it's a great belt to have. But this is doing it this way, especially for Dalton Smith, is the traditional way. I hope he makes his 3 defences of it.
What about Casey Benjamin though? He's unbeaten in 13. He has that momentum as well with him. What kind of problems do you think he will pose, Dalton Smith?
He's got to smother him. He's got to not let Dalton Smith get into a rhythm. He's got to make him feel uncomfortable. He's got to be as unorthodox as possible and bring him something different. You try and outbox Dalton Smith, he'll walk through you. Yeah, you try and stand there, have a setup with it. He can bang it, he can punch, and he's proved that.
Well, from the British title to the English middleweight title, Tyler Denny versus Brad Ray. Again, this has all the ingredients, doesn't it, to be a bit of a cracker as well?
Yeah, without that. You know, I met Brad Ray's sister, I think it was, on the holiday, before he even turned professional, and she was raving about him. You'll be watching him. He'll be on Sky. He's a great little fighter. And then, obviously, when I bumped into him, I told him the story. She said, "Yeah, she told me what she told you." And he's.
What do you like about him?
I like his attitude. I like his no nonsense. It's business for him. He has ambition. He has dreams. And I like that. I like that with most fighters that get here. But I just like the fact that I was nodded off about him. But, you know, his sister was his biggest cheerleader.
It will be quite a special night for him as well, being on the same card, the same show as Ricky Hatton. We know he's been training with him in the gym, and he wants to create basically what Ricky did and have that big fan base in Manchester, which really is something quite special.
His childhood hero, yeah. and how often do you manage to meet your childhood hero and work with him and look up to him and be inspired by him? So all the boxes are ticked for him.
6 rounds at Cruiserweight, Vidal Riley, Ross McGuigan. So far, so good, isn't it, for Vidal Riley? What are you looking to see from him on Saturday, though?
You know, Vidal, you hear so much about him, and he's not letting anybody rush him. He's still happy to try and develop and get his stripes under the radar.
He's the ultimate cool customer, though, isn't he?
Completely cool. And so when you don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it, you think, you know, you can see there's potential with Schumann. And I see his style of fight. I think he's got the power, he's got the confidence, he's got the experience. This will be a good fight.
Here he comes. Big Fraser, 6 rounds at heavyweight for him against Kamil Sokolowski. As we talked about at the top of the programme, they touched on it in the press conference. This is a test on paper for Big Fraser, but it's a test that he is very much relishing. He wants this.
Sokolowski, if I said it right, is classed as one of those tough journeymen. You do not give a second chance. You give him a second chance and he ruins your career. And that's what he can do. That's what he's good at doing. So it's a good one for him. Test him.
We've got to stand up and talk at the same time, Johnny. Get on the platform. That is because Tasha's coming up as well to join the fun. Tasha, do you want to go in the middle?
Come on, Shorty.
Can't say that.
I wasn't there.
How are you feeling? You're looking well. You said it there. This has been one of probably your favourite camps so far. Why is that? What's the difference, do you think?
I think, the stress and the pressure of the Namas has gone. And I just treating everything else as a bonus, and I think just the whole camp of learning something totally different. I mean, it's very, very rare that you get a southpaw versus a southpaw. And
is it quite refreshing to get your teeth stuck into something?
It is. It's just sometimes you're going into the gym and it's going over the same drills, but this has been a totally different camp. The setup's been different. How you throw your shots and where you place your shots and what shots you throw has been totally different, and to have a whole camp dedicated to that, it's been for me, it's just been a bit of a fresh air.
When we spoke to you in London a few weeks back, and I asked you, I said, how did it feel when you unified? Did it change you? You said not particularly, but you must have an air of confidence going into this that has given you that something a bit different, that bit extra.
I think it's like Fraser says, all the work that you put in camp gives you that confidence, because you know how hard and what you've put in, and I know how meticulous Jo is, so everything that we've done is preparing for the best version of her. So whatever she comes with, we've got an answer for, and we're going to impose my strengths as well.
Where do you see Dicaire's weaknesses?
There's a few. I don't want to give away too much of the game plan, but I think my speed, my accuracy and my power is something that she hasn't dealt with before.
And we were just touching on the atmosphere in Manchester. You're of course back in the same venue where you won your world title, aren't you? Which is going to be a special night indeed. What do you think it's going to come down to? How do you think Dicaire will deal with what it's going to be like in Manchester? Because as I said to Johnny, it's a bit of a lion's den sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. But I think, as an athlete, you can be as nervous as you want when you're going in, but when the first bell goes, all them nervous jitters go away, and you're just prepared for the fight in hand. And no matter what you feels like going in, when you're in there and in that moment, everything goes back to what you know and what you've learned. So, I don't think it'll affect her that much, if I'm honest. But yeah, hopefully it does for me.
There's a bit of talk, isn't there? Because Dicaire has naturally been around super welter her whole career. As we know with you jumped up a few weights. But this is, you've had a couple of fights now at the weight. You say you feel, the fittest, the most strong you've ever been. Do you think that will be anything in the fight on Saturday night? Do you think the size difference will be anything?
I definitely think I've developed into the weight. Obviously, it's not a weight that's natural to me. But this is my third camp going and being at this weight, and there is improvements. There's always improvements in every camp, otherwise you wouldn't progress. But yeah, I just don't think she's faced anything like me, if I'm honest.
She had her heels on as well. That's cheating.
Have a look a bit taller.
What do you think it's going to come down to then on Saturday?
Just being smart. And just sticking to the game plan and going and just doing what you've done in camp. That's it. That's that easy.
Are we doing the usual trick? Are you coming to work with us afterwards? Because normally you don't get any time to celebrate. We're normally getting you in the...
Superman's just out the shorts, into the dress, and back in with us again.
You do seem very relaxed, very happy, which, as we know, is a dangerous fighter.
Yeah, like I said, I've got nothing to complain about. I smile because I'm happy in, home, in life, and everything. So, I've just got to... The most frustrating part is, even after Bergholt and everyone was saying, that we believe that's one of your best performances, I still feel like there was things that I didn't show and that we specifically done in camp that I didn't. So that was frustrating for me. But now, going in, I want to add that and plus extra what I've learned. So,
are you thinking beyond this fight? Because there's talk of Clarissa said she might come down to your weight. There's a smile there on your face. Are you thinking beyond this one, or is it all eyes on this one?
No, you can't. if this one doesn't go right, none of the others happen. So it has to be all about this one. And I've looked past things before and it didn't work out for me, so now I'm fully focused on just on the fight on Saturday.
Which is easier said than done, Johnny, because when there's a bit of noise around a fighter, it's very easy to say I am all eyes on it, but it's not that easy.
It does help you make sure you get this job done right, because you think, I've got to get through this. If I think I'm at that level, then that here in the UK, I'm quite sure Clarissa would love to come back to the UK again, especially after the impression she left the last time. And what a fight, what a dragon slayer it would be for Natasha to if this fight came through.
Give us a prediction. What's going to happen?
Oh, I never give predictions, you know me. But it's going
I
to be
can try. I try every time. One day it's going to work.
Yeah. But no, it's going to be. I've prepared myself for 10 tough, hard rounds, and I'm pretty sure that she's done the same. So may the best woman win, like I said.
You know what? Best of luck, Tasha. Very much looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night. We'll see you tomorrow as well. That's it from this undercard presser. Later on this afternoon, it will be the Hatton Barrera presser. So make sure you join us for that. Johnny, I'll see you tomorrow for the weigh-in. Make sure you join us for that. That's 1 o'clock. And, of course, Saturday night, the action gets underway from 7 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. See you then. Hello, welcome back to the Love Factory here in Manchester. I said earlier on our press conference stream that we had a bumper night of action on Saturday night live from the AO Arena. That is because after our main card, we have an amazing exhibition fight between two absolute legends, Hatton versus Barrera. Very much looking forward to this one indeed, as is Anthony Crolla and Johnny Nelson, who are standing along beside me. I mean, Ricky Hatton is a fighter, isn't he? He needs absolutely no introduction at all.
I think any young fighter growing up at the time, never mind a young Mancunian lad like myself, you idolise Ricky Hatton, what he done, what those nights at the arena. I don't think they've ever been repeated. It's the support he had. I think he was like a real working class hero, and for me, it's crazy because obviously Ricky was someone who I idolised so close, and probably the best fight I've ever seen on television was Marco Antonio Morales on Sky Sports. I remember watching it as a kid, as a teenager. So, yeah, it's a crazy one Saturday night, but I was there yesterday and both of them look in great shape. Hands look good on both of them, still sharp. So, yeah, I think, listen, remember it's an exhibition.
But this is it. It is an exhibition. We're sort of saying it is a celebration, isn't it, of both their careers. But as you said, Anthony, they are taking it extremely seriously. Ricky looks in phenomenal shape.
I've seen Ricky walk in with his crew. He looks in brilliant condition. So that tells me the one positive out of this is, for Ricky, mentally, physically, emotionally, this has done him so much good. He looks the part now. So for his health, mental health, physical health, good on him. He said, this is a lifestyle now. I'm not just doing it for this one fight. I hope he can stick to that. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to say I was boxing when he was just coming through as a young man. I can remember him fighting on the Nassim Hamid undercard at Kevin Kelly in New York. I can remember, I think it was his second professional fight. He knocked his fighter out, got on with the job, and the rest is history. So to see this, I think it's a chance for Manchester fans to get all nostalgic about Ricky. He's not going to be the fighter he was, but he's going to create the same atmosphere, the same excitement, and he's going to give the fans a night out again. So to me, and Barrera again, look what he's done. He's in here. I hope he knows the rules.
But that's the thing, it is an exhibition. No head guards, 16-ounce gloves, 8 2-minute rounds in a venue. You won your world title there. Yeah. Ricky had his probably career best victory there against Costa Juniors. It's going to be such a great atmosphere.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be rolling back the years for so many people. I think a lot of emotions for some. So I imagine when Ricky's stood out, to do that ring walk, and Blue Moon, unfortunately for the Manchester United fans, is going to be playing. It's going to be like rolling back the years, and those people who never got to experience that atmosphere will get to experience something very special. But I think, like Johnny said, I think people will have the knocks and stuff, but how they prepared, they've covered all the safety checks. It's done so many and raised great awareness for mental health, which is such a big thing at the minute.
Definitely is. Well, the fighters, they're up there, they're ready to go. Let's hear from Andy Scott, who's with them.
Anthony, Johnny, thank you very much. Very warm welcome here to the Love Factory in Manchester. Europa Combat presents The Hitman Rises, and it is a celebration of two modern-day boxing legends, Ricky, the Hitman Hatton, and Marco Antonio Barrera, the baby-faced assassin. I'm sure all of you have got your selfie opportunities and had your pictures with the two guys so far, and I just want to throw it straight over to the two of you. Thank you for joining us. Ricky, first of all, have I got it right? Is that exactly what this is? A celebration, a coming together, a fiesta, I think Marco would say, but a celebration of the two of your careers and one last opportunity to go back to the AO Arena in Manchester.
Absolutely. I think it doesn't matter how old you get. I think I speak for Marco as well. You retire, but you don't still. You don't stop setting yourself goals and something you want to achieve. Do you know what I mean? And I've loved boxing. I'm a boxing trainer now, but I'm a boxing fan. And when the phone call came, I had a sneaky feeling I was going to get a phone call sooner or later. Do you want to do one of these exhibitions? And I did. And when it come forward, to do one against Marco Antonio Barrera, at the end of the day, whether I'm a boxing trainer or a former fighter, I'm a boxing fan. And to be given the opportunity to share the ring with Marco, who's been my friend for years now, an absolute dream come true, to hear the roar of the Manchester crowd again, do you know what I mean, to walk out to Blue Moon, to share the ring with someone like Marco, and for me to get rid of my belly again, which has also helped. But no, I think hugely excited, ready, looking forward to Saturday night. Yeah.
I'll steal a line that Marco used yesterday, and you put it to him. He thought he was coming to see Ricky Hatton, I should say, and he's ended up getting the hitman back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's when I first went into training for the first one, it should have been July 2nd, and obviously I was like a beach whale again, you know. So, but then when I started getting in training, you know, when I kept my weight off, and I started, you know, getting lots of feedback. You wouldn't believe the letters that I've had from people who were saying, Ricky, you know, you've inspired me to get my weight off. If you can get your weight off at 44 years of age, and Ricky, you know, to see you where you was a few years ago when I rightly so my head fell off, to say the least, didn't it? And my life fell to pieces a little bit. To see where I was a few years ago, to see where I am present day, I've enjoyed that it's inspired people. I've enjoyed it for my own well-being. And when the fight got postponed, I carried my training through to the next training camp. So, yeah, I think everyone loved Ricky Hatton, but yeah, Ricky Hatton's gone now. I think I'm 44 years of age. We all get a little bit old wiser. It took me 44 years to get here, but no, the days of me going up and ballooning now are behind me now.
I speak for everyone. It is great to see you looking so well and talking so well as well. Marco, welcome. Marco Antonio Barrera Jr. is going to help us with some translating. What was your reaction when the phone rang and they said, do you want to come back to England and do you want to come to Manchester and share the ring with Ricky?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. La verdad me sorprendió saber que Ricky había pensado en mí para poder hacer la pelea de exhibición después de tantos años estar retirado.
I was very surprised and honored to know that Ricky was considering me to be his exhibition opponent.
Porque la verdad, tenemos tantos años de amistad, lo quiero mucho, y arriba del ring se nos va a salir uno que otro golpe de ambos lados, pero muy contento de formar parte de esta celebración.
We've been friends for a very long time, and you know how exhibition matches work. Sometimes, you know, a punch goes too hard, but we know that we're good friends at the end of the day, so we're going to have fun.
Would you mind expanding, where did this, it's not an unlikely friendship, but where did this friendship begin?
Fue un poco chistoso. Empezó a ir a ver mis peleas, después yo empecé a ir a ver sus peleas, nos encontrábamos en Las Vegas. Me gustaba su estilo, un poquito estilo mexicano, a él le gustaba mi estilo y pues nos veíamos después de cada pelea, cenábamos, compartíamos. Y una vez pues me tocó venir a visitarlo acá con la familia, bueno, con mi esposa.
It was actually quite unusual. He started showing up to my fights, and then I started showing up to his fights. And after every fight, we went out, we hang out, we had dinner, and then our wives started hanging out more, so we just built that friendship.
I've heard Ricky talk about the story, but would you give your side of it? You walked to the ring with him against a fellow Mexican in Castillo. Did you have to ring Jose Luis Castillo to get permission, or did you break a few Mexican hearts there?
Sí, tuve que hablar con José Luis Castillo. Le dijo, oye, fíjate que Ricky Hatton, y me dijo, Castillo me dijo así, no te preocupes, yo sé que son grandes amigos, sube con él, porque la amistad siempre está ahí, nosotros somos mexicanos y entendemos.
Yes, I had to sit down with Castillo and tell him that Ricky had invited me over in his corner, and his words were, go for it. I know you two have been friends for a very long time. I know how much you care for each other, so absolutely, go for it.
As a friend to Ricky, I know that once the first bell rings, you know, you are still friends, but it is an exhibition fight. But how proud are you of the man on my left and the weight loss and the structure that he's put back to his life through the exhibition with yourself?
Primeramente, estoy sorprendido porque nos vimos hace 3 meses. Como 3 meses en Londres, la verdad sí lo vi bien recuperado y ahorita lo veo con un cuerpo más atlético que nada. Estoy contento y aparte feliz de que me haya tomado en cuenta y formar parte de esa transformación, que la verdad lo felicito mucho, se ve hasta más joven.
I'm shocked. I mean, I'm very shocked of Rico's transformation and very proud of him, very happy. I'm very honored to be a small part of his transformation, knowing this exhibition came through when he started focusing on his health. We saw him 3 months ago on Tyson Fury's fight, and he's a completely different person than what we see today. And we're very proud, we're very happy of him.
What about when the first bell rings? It's a celebration and it's a chance to say farewell to the fans and provide some entertainment, but at the same time, you've already said I won't have him outboxing me here in Manchester.
No, I think that's where I think the competitiveness comes in the exhibition, because we're two very, very proud fighters. You know, I want to go there and do myself justice, just like Marco's going to want to go and do himself justice. But and I think I speak for Marco again in the sense that we were very, very proud fighters. We were proud of it. We fought for our people, you know what I mean, and we wore our hearts on our sleeves in the boxing ring. And it's about his personal pride. When you've been in the fights that we've been in and done what we've done, you know, we don't want anybody walking away from that arena on Saturday night and going, wasn't that a load of rubbish? Oh, that was sending me to sleep. Wasn't that a load of, you know, we don't. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not. The fans always love me because of my exciting style, and I think that's why they love Marco as well. So it will be. It's an exhibition, and it'll be obviously structured, and there'll be no liberties taken or anything like that. But me and Marco will make it exciting, because we won't want it we won't want it to be any other, because that's the fighters we are.
What was your reaction to that? He said, you know, it is about entertaining, and he knows that once you get in there, there will be some entertainment.
Bueno, yo creo que sí estoy de acuerdo, lo vuelvo a repetir, él me gustaba porque a pesar de que es inglés tenía ese estilo mexicano, ir para adelante, le gustaba el intercambio de golpes, a mí también. Entonces yo creo que es una exhibición, habrá que entenderlo, pero se va a poner muy bien y va a ser del agrado de toda la gente.
I mean, I agree, definitely. Since the start, since the first moment I saw Ricky, I like his style, I like his aggressive Mexican style. So he likes combinations, he likes his changing punches, I like his changing punches. So it's going to be a good entertainment for the show, for the people.
Do you mind if I ask you what it is to be a Mexican fighter? What is the spirit of a Mexican fighter? When you say Ricky has a Mexican style, we know the fact that your name will forever be etched in Mexican boxing history, but what is it to be a Mexican fighter?
Bueno, lo que pasa es que mucha gente lo vio aquí, Ricky Hatton, aquí en Inglaterra, pero tenía ese corazón tan grande que cuando recibía golpes iba para adelante, estaba cortado, se levantaba e iba para adelante y daba tremendas peleas. Un boxeador mexicano hace lo mismo, difícilmente das un paso atrás y difícilmente te quedas sentado en el banquillo.
Mexican fighter spirit is basically just having heart. It's just huge heart. You saw it hands-on with Ricky, that it doesn't matter how many punches he threw or he took, he always went straight for more. A Mexican spirit, a Mexican fighter doesn't quit on the stool. He goes up and he goes for more, he pushes his heart out in the ring.
Do you mind if I ask you, Junior, a question? I mean, this must be a pretty surreal experience for yourself. I don't know how old you are.
20.
20, following your dad around the world. I know you've had the chance to spar your dad now. You know, you're translating for your dad at an exhibition and you're part of the camp. What's it been like for you?
It's been, I mean, I love this kind of experiences. I love being around, you know, cameras. I love boxing. I'm a big boxing fan. So this is just my whole life. I think ever since I remember, I've been around cameras and boxing. So it's not unusual for me. It's not something different. It's something that I definitely enjoy. It's something that I push my dad to do, and I just have fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you were the coolest kid in school. Now you must be the coolest kid at college, definitely. Ricky, one last one to you. You're an emotional character, and you know it's great having you back. I just wonder if you can let us into that mindset. There'll be the knock on the door. I know you've got something special planned for your ring walk, which everyone should look out for. But when there's only one Ricky Hatton chant starts and you hear the first few notes of Blue Moon, how do you think that you will feel?
I feel very emotional. You know, I don't want to, you know, keep going on about, you know, I've been through some tough times, you know, in the past, and it's took me a long time to get where I am physically and mentally at the minute, you know, so and there's so many things I nearly missed out on in my life, you know, seeing my son go, you know, professional, being a granddad, You know what I mean? Seeing Campbell go professional, being a granddad, seeing Millie and Fern grow up into the kids that they're becoming. You know, made up with Billy Graham. We fell out with Billy Graham for years. Made up with my mum and dad, who were going to be there. They'd be there. My mum and dad were at ringside. For my first amateur fight, to me fight against Manny Pacquiao, and then, as you know, we fell out for a number of years, and they weren't there for the Senchenko fight. And I think it affected my performance against Senchenko, but they're there Saturday night, which means more to me than anything.
Yeah, brilliant. I just wonder if you do speak English. I know you're not that comfortable speaking. Do you have one final message for Ricky that you might want to deliver in English, other than?
Okay. First, congratulations. You're looking very nice, handsome. No, you're looking good. No.
I hope that's coffee.
Take your line. Take your line.
That's coffee.
No, you're looking good, because I remember the last time. Remember when I stayed in London, I said, "Oh, what happened with Ricky?" I remember you when before the fight, after the fights, you're looking good. But right now, what happened? But right now, when I back, I say, "Oh my God, I don't know how many pounds he lost." But he looking athletic body. But congratulations.
Thank you, my friend. A few months ago, we went to Tyson Fury's fight against Dillian White, and it was before the fight was announced and everything like that. And we said we agreed to do it, and we did the press conference, didn't we? And I met Marco at top of Oxford's ground, and I come round the corner, and he looked at me. He went, "Ricky, are you going to be ready?" Look at the size of it. And then when he went, "Are you going to be ready?" I went, never mind me, I'll be ready. And then when I come through we did the press workout yesterday, where he come through the gym door, he looked at me, he said, "Whoa, well done, Ricky," give me a hug, and it's a compliment to him. I've got in good shape, you know what I mean, and it's, I think, Saturday night, it's going to be an absolute winner of a night, and we've had so many good nights, Marco, in our career, my friend, haven't we? So many great wins and great nights, and so many great stories. But for me, this is up there. This is just another one to add to them stories, my mate.
Brilliant. Well, anyone that wants to watch it, Sky Sports Arena, Sky Sports main event, roughly around 10:30. The rules, everything like that, are all online, but it's an exhibition. It's a celebration of two modern-day legends, the Hitman, the babyface assassin, Ricky Hatton, Marco Antonio Barrera. Best of luck, gentlemen, and we can't wait for it.
Thank you.
I didn't see where this came from.
I really enjoyed that press conference.
Ricky sort of welling up a little bit as well, didn't he? I think it's memory lane, and I think we're saying for his fans as well, getting all nostalgic and going down memory lane, thinking about those good times. And I think with a lot of fighters, when you've been there, this game is addictable. You've got two iconic fighters here stood in front of us. They're never going to achieve and be at the height they were at the height of their career, but they're still capable of filling out arenas and getting the fans there that want to sit and watch.
And I think Ricky touched on it there, didn't he, about the days of Ricky Hatton are gone. Having a goal as well, I guess, for him to train to, something, to get fit for again, is giving him real purpose.
Listen, I think we were all concerned when we saw Ricky's shape, how his life kind of spiraled out of control at one point. Now you look at him, he's the perfect image. He's trimmed down, looks healthy, happy. His family and everybody, his friends, everybody all friends together. This is
just
so
saying
good.
he can get his arms around him now.
Yeah, this is so good for his mental, physical, and emotional health. And what a message to pass on to others. You can get yourself back there.
Hopefully he's going to be coming over and we can grab a word with him. But in terms of we know the rough rules, we know the rules. There will be no winner, no knockouts. But how do you, as a fighter, Johnny, how do you control those emotions once you're in the ring?
I have no idea how they will do it, because these guys...
Because you still want to put on a show, right?
But listen, the bigger gloves, they're...
16 ounces, yeah.
16-ounce gloves, so it is going to be a bit more protection, but you know what, I think these guys are professionals, and a little cheeky dig now and again, just to remind each other of who they are. He's never going to run away. Look, I see Ricky's right there.
Yeah.
Looking the part.
Come and join us, Ricky. You're looking. You are looking so well and very happy, which is great to see. Like you just said up there. I just asked Johnny: is having the goal something to train for? How important has that been to you?
Oh, very much so. I mean, and to be honest with you, when you think about it bigger picture, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're a boxer, a footballer, or in life in general. You've got to give yourself goals, even when you retire. You know, I mean, you retire, but you know, the minute that in your life where you stay stood still and you got nothing to get out of bed for in the morning, that doesn't matter how old we are or in what walk of profession we're in. You're going to go down. You know what I mean? You've got to do something that motivates you, and to do this exhibition, I never thought I'd get this opportunity again. You know, so to get myself in shape, give myself a goal. It's been great for my well-being, great for other people's well-being, because they've seen the feedback I've got of how inspired they've been for what I've done. And people say, well, is that exhibition, is it worth it? Well, of course it's worth it, you know what I mean? Just look what it's done to me, and the bell hasn't even rung yet, you know, between me and Marco, so everyone's a winner, especially Ricky Hatton.
I have no doubt that training has been intense and it's been hard, but have you enjoyed it?
I've loved it, to be honest with you. It's just like, I mean, I started my career on Sky. My professional debut was about 26 years ago. And Sky were here at the start, and they're going to be here at the last. And just the cameramen and the photographers and the backroom staff and that, they're there and they're still here. And it's nice to go through so many old memories.
He's still here.
Yeah, I see so many new faces, and it's just like. And this week with the public workout and the press conference today, and then the weigh-in and everything, it's like the good old days.
It.
Yeah. Was
it your second fight when you boxed in New York?
Yeah.
That was your second fight? So that's what I'm saying. In Madison Square Garden, Ricky went in there. I think you stopped him, didn't you?
Yeah. No, it was points win.
He went in there and he was just slid under the radar. Him and Billy, they just toddled off, and everybody's saying, watch that young kid there. I'm thinking, why have they got this young Minecon in New York? What's going on here? Next minute, the rest is history. He's filling out the arena with Costa Zoo, so it makes me feel even older. So thanks for that.
How hard is it going to be, though, to keep sort of emotions in check on Saturday? Because I just asked Johnny, as a fighter, the rules are there, that there'll be no knockouts, no real winner. But how do you stop yourself?
I think it's about being a professional and doing the right things. Johnny will agree that, you know, sometimes when you aspire, it's got to be competitive.
He said he'd struggle.
It's got to be competitive. You know what I mean? You've got to put it on your opponent. But you know what's too much. You know what isn't enough. I mean, the only thing I can say is that Marco has not come to Manchester for me to lead him a merry dance. You know, and he's not coming to my Manchester arena and boxing my head off. You know what I mean? That's where the pride comes in. And I think, you know, if we put it on the chart, if that's not enough and that's boring and that's too much, I think we'll hover about here, and I think it'll be entertaining. And because we're friends and we're professionals, you know what's a libertine, you know what's too much, you know what's not enough. But the one thing is, me and Marco don't want anyone leaving the arena on Saturday going, that was a waste of time. That sent me to sleep. That was boring. Absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered doing it in the first place.
Are you kind of seeing this as a chance to go out on your terms and celebrate your career? Because you said up there in the press conference with Andy that there are certain moments in your life that people that you've missed out on, and that your parents have missed out on. Are you seeing it as this is your chance to kind of put those things right?
It is, you know, because I mean, nobody likes to see the heroes, you know, make one last comeback and get hurt. That's the thing, you know. So, and I'm very fortunate. My last comeback 10 years ago against Senchenko, I got beat with a body shot, but I couldn't really say I got hurt. So, but the thing is, I've got another chance again, and I think these exhibitions, I think as long as they're entertaining, and we can showcase our skills, me and Marco, for one last time only, and knowing that your hero's not going to get hurt or beat up, but you can still see him perform for one night only. I'm all for that, you know what I mean? And you know, you don't want to see anyone making a silly comeback and get how many. It's been through history, Johnny, and so many great fighters have made a comeback and we've seen them get hurt. That's heartbreaking. That's not going to happen to Ricky and Marco Antonio Barrera, but you are going to enjoy it, trust me.
How are you going to feel sat in that changing room before you walk out? How are you going to feel? Are there going to be nerves there, do you think? Or?
A bit of everything, nerves, emotional, wanting to go out there and wanting to perform at the end of the day, like I said, because we're professionals, but been very emotional for me. So many great times at the Manchester Arena, for me, and just to have my Manchester fans for one last night only, cheer. There's only one Ricky Hatton and Blue Moon, and having Campbell there, who's turned professional now, and even Matthew's lad Jack, he started the Hatton tradition, followed in the Hattons. He's an amateur boxer now. He's unbeaten. Started off his amateur career. The old man's going to give it another bit of a go, but my mum and dad were thinking, oh, thank God we can put our feet up now, but they were wrong, weren't they? But no, it's going to be a very, very emotional night. It started on Sky and it's going to end on Sky, and it's been a pleasure. I've had so many great times, and another one's coming Saturday, yeah.
I've heard a rumour about your ring walk. I'm not going to say anything, but it's going to be good. Is this giving you the bug? Are we going to see you in the ring?
Never going to happen. Not in a million years. One thing I've got to say is I think Ricky has set a great example and great inspiration for anybody else that you listen. Many of us have seen Ricky's life go out of control. Now look at him now. He said this is his lifestyle now, and so it's such an inspiration to drag people back to this point. It can be done. He's living proof that it can be done, and it looks slimmer than me. He used to weigh more than I did.
That's because he's training harder than you.
Yeah, it is. So it's really nice for us old boys to get nostalgic, and for the fans to have a night out to see Ricky Hatton in action.
But also new fans as well.
With lockdown and COVID, and because of the COVID, mental health went through the roof, and we were all locked in our houses for so long, and it got postponed July 2nd when we just come out of lockdown, so that was going to be done to raise people's spirits and get everyone, because it's been a tough time for the nation, and it still is in many ways. But I think this is a nice one for the boxing fans, to come and, like Johnny just said, just going over old times, and for one last dance only, seeing me and Marco go through our repertoire again. It's helped so many people, and I think anyone who's there tonight and anyone who tunes in and watches it is in for the sensational night.
We can't wait. I am so looking forward to it, Ricky. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at the weigh-in. That's it from us here in Manchester at the Love Factory. We went through the whole show without you singing, which is a bonus.
Don't worry, we've got tomorrow.
Oh, lucky us. Join us for the weigh-in tomorrow from 1 o'clock. And, of course, Saturday night we shall be on air at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena.